Welcome back for another Wild Science with HEB video challenge. Now that you've learned about adaptations in our last few videos, let's test your knowledge. If you want to go back and refresh your memory, click on the video links on the screen. If you're ready to begin, here's your first question. There are differences in Galapagos tortoise shell shape and neck length, depending on the resources that were available to them on the island they resided on. Are these differences in their physical features an example of a structural adaptation or behavioral adaptation? Structural adaptation is correct. Over time, the physical features of these tortoises evolved to adapt to their environment to help them survive. Ready for the next one? Here it is! Some animals, like the sandhill crane, will migrate to warmer places to increase their chances of survival in winter months. Is migration a learned or instinctive behavior? Time's up! If you guessed instinctive, you're correct. Migration is a type of instinctive behavioral adaptation that increases an animal's chances of survival. Here's your third question. African wild dogs are social animals that hunt in packs of 6 to 20 dogs. Working together to obtain food increases their chances of survival. Would this be an example of a structural adaptation or a behavioral adaptation? The answer is behavioral adaptation. Living in groups and working together is a behavior that helps these animals survive. You're halfway there. Chimpanzees have been known to use tools in various ways to obtain food. They do this by watching other chimps and then copy the behavior. Is tool use in chimps an example of a learned or instinctive behavior? If you guessed learned, you're right. Chimps are exhibiting a learned behavioral adaptation when they use tools. You're doing great. Here's question 5. A flamingo will stomp its feet to stir up food particles in the water. Would this action be considered a structural adaptation or a behavioral adaptation? The action of a flamingo stomping its feet while feeding would be considered a behavioral adaptation. Great job if you made it this far. Get ready for a bonus question. This one will be tricky. To warn others of their presence, rattlesnakes will hold their tails vertically and twitch their tail muscles rapidly. Their tail is made up of loose segments that hit each other as they vibrate, which gives off their signature rattling sound. Is a rattlesnake's tail a structural adaptation or a behavioral adaptation? A rattlesnake's tail is a structural adaptation. On the other hand, the action of moving their tails and creating a sound to ward off predators would be a behavioral adaptation. Thanks for playing!